though there's only 2 women on this event. The lovely Rebecca, who is not showing herself. She keeps announcing from out on the side somewhere. And then the only other lovely lady for the entire event I have to follow. So, I mean, come on. I mean, it's not fair for me. And a truly impassioned speech as well, which is something what I love about this country and what I want to see more of. This is exactly what we want to see happen. This is exactly what we want to inspire. We're helping an industry to develop, and the opportunities, everything you said, it's not out of reach. It's going to take time. But we're getting there, we're making progress, and it's very, very, truly encouraging and truly happy to see. So bear with me, because I ordinarily always speak about healthcare, and this is one of my first times I'm up here, and I'm going beyond the healthcare realm and trying to talk to the overall industry. So I had to have notes. That, plus I'm not in swimwear shape, so I thought I'd hide behind the podium. Maybe that would work for us. But opening slide, so good afternoon, thank you. I want to take a small trip down memory lane, and ironically enough, since I think I am the last single presenter, you're going to see what I say mirrors very, very closely what our very first presenter, Jonathan, brought to the table. So it worked out well, guys. We got kind of lucky that we kind of bookended on that. So it worked out really well. So I want to talk about how our industry has evolved to the powerhouse it is today. And then we're also going to talk about some of us as companies. And nope, this thing doesn't work. So can you advance for me, please? So the 1990s, this is when it all kind of began, when we look at it. And interestingly enough, a significant portion of our workforce today was born in the 1990s, or certainly at the very least were crawling around in diapers right about that time. So that's an interesting thing in its own right. But the Philippines was not real well known, especially to an American culture. Americans don't travel much, right? Americans know America barely. So they certainly don't know the Philippines or anywhere in Asia. It gets very confusing for them. In most cases, they're either people that travel, and they know it for the lovely beaches and the scenery that's here, or they're history buffs or war veterans, and they got a different view of the Philippines and how they think of what it was and where it is. So, but some entrepreneurial people started a process of change. I think we go next. Click. This fellow right here. Now, for those of you who don't know who that is, that's Mr. Frank Holes. And how many of you guys know who Anderson Consulting is? I see a raise of hands. Hey, more than I thought. That's very, very good. Can we click one more time, please? Let's see how they've evolved up, because maybe this will help you out. Anderson Consulting is a little company called Accenture. That's who they've evolved into and who they are today. And Frank Holes, there's a picture now that if you see him, maybe you'll recognize him, but I don't think any of us recognize him from that picture that was taken way too terribly long ago. But he came out here back in 1992 with Anderson Consulting and started one of the first using talent here to do offshoring services for foreign clients through Anderson Consulting. And when I called Frank up to validate that, because I looked online, I saw a lot of information. I said, really, 1992? And he said, no, actually that's not true. I said, oh, okay, when was it? 97, 98? No, about 85. He was here, and he was doing services then. So, I mean, that's how long ago that this seed had been planted, had been growing on. But, I mean, obviously, it's very, very small seed. It's just kind of, people were realizing the talent and the capabilities that existed then. And then Sykes, what's known as the first call center here in the country, 97 came along. And then one more click, please. Followed by eTelecare, which was another one of the big contact centers that came into it. And then one more click for me, because as I go along, as we're talking about evolution of the industry, I'm going to give you a little side story on the evolution of a company called DTSI, who I am working for and working with, to say how they've evolved up. In 1997, DTSI was formed with very simple, humble beginnings, an IT networking company wanting to support these kind of businesses that are kind of coming in. Can we do one more click, please? So 2000 to 2005, building an industry. These pioneers kind of set a path, and now a lot of hard work by a lot of people that were named, and I'm not going to name any more names because I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm going to take the approach of I'm going to leave everybody out, okay? Because I know I'm going to miss a name and someone's going to be mad at me, and I don't want to go that route. So Frank is the only name you're going to hear from me going forward with this thing. But the Philippines now, primarily Metro Manila, is starting to get recognized for the potential that is here. Obviously, the English accents, the American culturalism, those kind of things, those are certainly being appreciated appreciated and being capitalized upon. And one more click, please. And as this starts to grow, we start creating associations. And as you heard Jonathan say earlier today, there was a Contact Center Federation. Well, it evolved to become BPAP. CCAP came in, PSIA, HIMAP started out as MIDIAPI, it was the Medical Transcription Industry Association, and evolved up into HIM-related services. ACPI, the Animation Council, and then GDAP, the Game Developers Council, or Association. These all associations, maybe the time frame isn't exactly right, but the point is we start creating these associations, and these associations, one more click please, have the job of working with the government entities to try and help the government be made aware of what our industry is bringing, what the capabilities are it can do, and what the potential it can bring to the country will be. Obviously, PEZA was something that was done. Again, we're not pushing any campaign aspects, but we know there were a lot of good ties to kind of help make things happen, make PEZA available to our industry. Huge, huge motivator when you go from a tax perspective and what that was. CICT with Donde, but I couldn't find a logo for that. I'm sorry if I tried for the life of me. I couldn't find one online. So we just got DOST and then ICTO. Department of Trade and Industry, BOI, and they even have the Department of Labor here. And ordinarily, a lot of you guys will say, Department of Labor, how much help are they? Because we all kind of see them for maybe a little bit of trouble for a lot of us. But just think about it. I remember when I first started operations here, women weren't allowed to work at night. And if you remember, you had to go in and kind of get a special waiver and an approval for your workforce that worked at night. We worked primarily a lot of nurses. So the industries worked out with us, and they did help us to kind of grow and help us do all that. And then one more click, please. One more. I think there it is. And continuing on with the DTSI story. What did DTSI do? Now, as this industry is growing up, DTSI evolved and grew along with it as well, too. And you've seen that they became one of the premier delivery sources for IVEA phone switches, for Cisco IT networking equipment. That kind of went on. They created DTSI International, a division created solely to help people that want to get and deal with PEZA, an association that can help facilitate that and make that happen. And they also created DTSI USA. Most of our clients were coming in from the US. This was a listening post, a ground on the ear, to kind of give us information on who's coming here and how can we approach and what can we do for it. One more click, please. 2005 to 2010. Now, to me, I'm calling these the riding the wave years. I came here and started in 2004, and in these, going up into 2007, to me, these were the heyday, the great day. The industry was booming, it was taking off, talent was everywhere. We weren't fighting so hard for it. There were so many people that wanted to get into it. There was challenges. We had a lot of work to do. We had to train them, we had to upskill them, we had to culturize them. We got our ugly, or certainly I did, got my ugly American moniker for kind of the way I was. But in the end run, I was preparing them. If you can survive me, you can survive any customer I got. That was the mentality, is how I went into it and talking to them. So the country's really coming into its own, widely recognized by BPOs and captives. And could I click one, please, for me? The KPO and the BPO processes. We were going up a value chain. We were doing more than just call center work. We're starting to see now where we're doing a lot of back-end work when you're talking with the captive industries that are here, doing your back-end HR, back-end finance, accounts receivable, those type of jobs. One more click, please. And then the global in-house centers, as I said, started coming into play. At somewhere down the line, they didn't like to be called captives. They changed the name to global in-house centers. And I thought about it, and I said, well, you know what? I probably wouldn't like to be called a captive in India or a captive in the Philippines either. So maybe that's why they changed the name to a global in-house center. So we started worrying about how we were going to keep up with this pace of growth. But to be quite honest with you, it wasn't a big trouble yet. I mean, we were talking about it. Gee, man, the way we're growing so fast. How are we going to maintain? And we did a lot of talk. Honestly, not a lot of action was happening. Maybe some groundwork was being laid, but not a whole lot was kind of happening on as it went on. And one more click, please. And you're going to keep seeing this little logo keep popping up, so I'm going to shamelessly keep plugging these guys as I go along. But as the industry evolves, so does DTSI. And then here now they created the Anthem division. And Anthem was a group that was set up to provide managed services, managed facilities, managed IT, capabilities, again, to help be that either incubator for you coming into country or to provide services to you to help you focus on your core competencies. And as you can see, we got a theme going on here. We're talking about how this company, along with the country, is going down an evolutionary path. Started with one goal in mind and progressed into other opportunities as they happen, just like pretty much all of us have done. One more slide, please. Okay, let's all take 1 second and applaud this. This is a major achievement. I'm not kidding. Please, everybody, take it 1 second, clap your hands. This is a major milestone. Around 2010, Philippines gets labeled the #1 voice destination to the world. We have gone and we upset the giant India, a country that's 10 times the size of what we have here. So by rights, how could we possibly upset them? But we obviously did. The saying, the slogan, "It's more fun in the Philippines," didn't come out until 2012. But I got to tell you, when this announcement came out, and that's where the industry was going, I think it's very, very apt. Outsourcing, more fun in the Philippines. It was worth me putting on the slide here and saying it, because I truly believe this was the feeling, this was the mentality as we were going on through it. Over 500,000 employees, direct employment in the industry, about $9 billion in revenue, a 5-year compounded annual growth rate of 38%. It was, and to me, still is, much more fun in the Philippines. A little more challenging as we kind of move on and go along, but it's certainly more fun to be here than in many other places. Next slide, please. 2010 to 2015, the industry matures. 2015 numbers not official, but we're looking at about $22 billion in revenue for the industry. 1.2 million employed. Big numbers. And we kept hearing, again, everything you're going to hear from me today, you've heard from somebody else earlier in the day. I'm kind of more being a recap. I guess it worked out well. I kind of ended up at the end of this conversation. But the industry is maturing. Even call center work is maturing. It's no longer script-driven. Get in, hello, my name is, how can I? It's no longer decision tree supports. If they say yes, you go this way. They say no, you go that way. It's becoming true free thinking speech between, the only thing scripted now is, hello, my name is, thank you, good day. Everything in between, we need a brain there that's focusing on that, and how am I supporting you, how am I taking care of you? This is how we're going up a value chain, even in the contact center space of it as well. BPO, KPO services are growing. The fastest vertical, an area near and dear to my heart being healthcare, has grown dramatically. Big reasons for that, the just large, vast talent pool that we have here from allied health professionals, primarily nurses, and a lot of other aspects in the allied health industry. The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare as we all like to call it, was a big factor in that as well too. Put big pressures on an industry, healthcare, a very insulated, insular industry that did not want to step out of its scope and certainly did not think it could offshore anything or outsource much, because these are my core competencies. The pressures by Affordable Care Act have made that industry rethink how they're doing it. And what may have started as coming to this country looking for a labor arbitrage play for cheaper talent to do work has now turned into a sourcing the proper talent play. It's not so much that they're cheaper. To be quite honest with you, sometimes some of the things we do here rival costs that are in some remote areas of the US, but it's being done better here. And that's what people keep coming here to do. And the message you keep hearing from other people before and before. The services offered from here now rival their origins in both quality and originality and how we move along and perform the work. And the GICs, one click please, have grown so much now, just like HIMAP, CCAP, BPAP. The GICs have grown so much, they've created their own industry organization. So to me, this is, again, another indicator, another sign. How is the industry evolving? What is happening? These guys that were happy to be our customers and throw it over the fence to us as BPOs and do work for them now are saying, that's great, but there's other services of mine that I'll never give to anybody on the outside, but I still want the advantages of that cost arbitrage. I still want the advantages of that labor pool. How can I do that? Let me come set up my own operation here. And so many of those have started to do that to the point they're justifying their own association. Also, one more click please. The industry now is really truly taking the foreseen talent issues to heart. How do we address them? How do we go forward with it? What can we do? And they're taking proactive steps. We've worked closely with TESDA. Curricula has been developed that allows government funds to be applied for skills-based training at a vocational level. Some of those people that may not have made it through high school, or made it, maybe even through high school, but certainly haven't made it into college, now have the opportunity that there's government-funded ability for them to go and get the skills that our industry needs and apply them to it. CHED, the Commission of Higher Education, recognized the career potential. And oh no, I've lost my notes. And our industry brings and partners with the associations to create the service management program. And then many of you that are here hopefully participated or not just aware of it, because again, this was an industry-led initiative that worked with the government, the educational department, and created a curricula that was clearly pointed and based for our industry. So that if someone came out of college and they showed you that they had an elective in SMP, you would be more likely to hire them over someone who didn't. Because while they were in this course, they were taught the basic customer service skills, the handling skills, the requirements, how we look at things, what we need from our industry. These were taught to them while they were in college. And there's also a huge OJT portion of this where they have to go and spend hours within the BPO environment. So again, when they come out of it, they come out of school, they hit the ground running because they know what our industry expects from them, and they can walk straight into a job, which is usually the goal for everybody that goes to college. If it's maybe not so much the kids, but I guarantee you the parents that are paying for it, their goal is when they graduate, they get a job and they got somewhere to go. And then one more click, please. So now, again, this is my last little DTSI button here. But what's DTSI up to? They're evolving just as well as everybody else is to meet the market needs. They're expanding their managed services platform. We're adding consultancy services to the table to best offer GICs and one-stop shops, or a one-stop shop setup to achieve the desired efficiencies sooner by bringing legal incorporation, training, quality, security, managerial oversight. All the things that when you come in and set up as a company you need help and support with, these are things we're bringing to be that one stop. You come to us, we will enable everything you need. And we're doing it through collaboration. We're not saying we know everything and we're going to reinvent the wheel. Many of you guys are providers to this industry, and we want to partner with you, and we want to work with you to get to where you need to be, and we'd like you to be our partners to move it on. And I'm running out of time, so I'm going to start speeding up. One more slide, please. The industry evolves. And this was something that was said earlier by Jonathan, that there's only one thing we can honestly 100% predict about the future. It'll be different. And what are we going to do to adjust to that and adhere to that, and how are we going to deal with it? Digital's changed everything. How we shop, how we sell, how we make friends, how we connect with friends, how we become famous, how we become infamous. It's your take on it. What does it matter? But how we work and interact with our talent is the main thing as well, too. We've heard over and over and over again, everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on Instagram, everybody's communicating digitally. If we're not marketing to our potential employees in that format, how could we possibly think we're going to attract them to kind of come into us? Millennials, I'm going to skip over because we had a couple people talk about that. One more click, please. As a service, huge game changer to our industry. What does it mean? There's different ways to look at it. As a service from one angle, I provide contact center solutions in the cloud. As a service, you need a phone call, you need to be an ACD agent, I can set you up without all that big heavy infrastructure costs. I can make that happen right now today. Very easy thing to do. You need a workforce management platform. You need a customer resource management program or analytics. All of these can be offered by the drink from a cloud base by providers who do the service, and you just go out and ask for them and pay for what you need. You don't go and hire a team of analysts and create this department and do all these things that only the big guys could do before. Real-time analytics. One more click, please. I haven't heard the words big data in quite a while, but let's be honest, it didn't go away. It's still there. I think we just got sick and tired of hearing the words big and data combined with each other. But this analytics is happening. You heard it through many speakers earlier today. What we're doing with that data, where it takes us, what we can do, is a huge game changer in how we're going to interact and provide and support our clients. One more click, please. And then the last scary one here. This is what happens when you're up at night and you're making your presentation. That's supposed to be robotic process automation, not remote. I apologize for that. We're done, right? It's the end of our industry. We're all dead, right? RPA is going to come in, take away all of our jobs. Nothing's going to happen. No. I look at it differently. I look at it as, if we want to go down an evolutionary path and we want to talk about evolution, is RPA not just that next evolutionary push that forces us to step up our game, and how do we benefit from it? We're all scared to death that it's taking away jobs. Wait a minute, a little bit earlier today we were all scared to death on where are we going to get the next round of employees that we need. We got too much pressure on the talent pool. Maybe it can help, maybe it can benefit. It all depends on how you look at things. If you want to look at them as being a problem, I guarantee they're a problem. If you want to look at them as a challenge or an opportunity, that's what you can make them become. The GIC landscape is expanding as well. They're created their own association. Oh, oops, look at it, I'm way behind on my notes. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I'm not. But as that industry expands and as it grows, primarily these captives or GICs were the BPO's clients. And did you look at them as a threat when they say they're setting up an operation here? Or do you look at them as saying it's an opportunity for me to create a tighter relationship with my customer? Come and put up your captive. You know what? Put it on the same building as me. I'll help you get the floor below me. And I'll even help you make it happen. I'll help it grow. I will be your partner, because you're going to do it if I support you or not. So it's in my best interest to work with you, make it succeed, make it go forward, and then I'm your partner. And as you grow, we start talking and sharing about what resources should I do, what processes should you do, and how do us working together as a team take you to that next level. You can fight it if you want, but if you do, don't be too surprised when you're looking back a few months later wondering, why are they no longer my customer? Why will they no longer work with me? Because you didn't support them in their forward path and in their growth. And then one more click, please. The roadmap, and I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to touch on this real quick. I'm going to reemphasize everything you heard from Jonathan. You can do 3 clicks real quick, please. Contribute. One more. Participate. One more. Collaborate. This is what all of us have to do as an association. I know it's herding cats. I know we're all different. We compete with each other. But we also have to work together if we want to see this country, this industry, this domain that we all live and love grow and succeed. And how does it get better? We work together. There is a roadmap you saw earlier from Jonathan that's being taken place for the next 6 years. Doesn't mean crap if you guys don't participate and give us the information we need. It doesn't mean much if you're not collaborating with us on training initiatives, on other going forward issues or problems or concerns we have. We need your help for this to happen. And this is my HIMAP hat on, my association hat, and I do this continually. I lead a team with BPAP, Leadership Development Council, 70,000 team leaders. What are we as an industry working together to kind of standardize, to bring something together to help make sure these team leaders operate and can function at the levels we need? It helps them, it helps us. Everybody should win from this. One more click. And look, it blends in beautifully. Oh no, go back. We're back again, okay. So, center of the universe. I'm a little concerned about that, and I'll tell you why. I, at best, have a 180-degree field of vision. If I'm the center of the universe, that means there's 180 degrees going on behind me that I'm not seeing. So I'm either real busy spinning around in circles, trying to see everything that's kind of going on, and worrying about what's going to sneak up and kind of bite me on the butt. Maybe center of the universe isn't where we want to be. Maybe that nice big bright star up in the corner is where we'd like to be. So we've got a big chunk of the industry that we're involved in front of us, so we can see what's going on with it, so we can adapt to it, so we can say, how do we react to what's happening into it? How do we deal with how it goes forward? And the last click, please. I'm sorry I ran over time, but that's it. That's all I got. So hopefully it's informative for you. You see the path. Evolution is what we've got to do. We have to evolve. Every one of you has already evolved. I mean, one person, please raise your hand and tell me, if you're more than a year old in this country, you're doing exactly the same thing you did when you came here and started. You haven't. You aren't. You evolved to your market demands, to your customer demands, to what the industry demands of you. That's all we're doing. Let's just keep doing it, and let's do it together, because that's how we're going to make it all happen. So thank you very much. Hopefully it's informative.